While police have identified a man they believe was responsible for the death of a Toronto woman who was found in a ditch at the Niagara Region 25 years ago. For more on this break in the cold case, we're now joined live by Niagara Regional Police Staff Sergeant Andrew Neville. Thanks for joining us. All right, well, can you walk us through step by step, the best you can, as if I'm in grade 5, like with the genetic use, now using this DNA, how are we able to crack this cold case after 25 years?
Yeah, certainly we're very grateful for being able to have this technology available to us. Initially, back in 1999, where this all began, was we were able to determine that crime scene DNA was located on the body of Nadine Gurzenski. That was uploaded to the National Data Bank to attempt to determine whether or not there was any associations or linkages to any known offenders on the DNA data bank. However, no connections or linkages were ever able to be established. From there, we attempted to work with our policing partners in the United States through Interpol and the United Kingdom, but again, no linkages were ever found. And it wasn't until 2021 where we were able to utilize the investigative genetic genealogy, working with our partners with the Toronto Police Service and cooperation with the Centre of Forensic Sciences in order to narrow down and help build family trees to narrow down persons of interest in this particular investigation, which ultimately led us to the identity of the offender, Mr. Raymond Brousseau, who passed away in 2017.
And so do police have a database of former criminals or people they have records of? Do they have a database of their DNA? Like, how do you link the DNA that was left at the crime scene to somebody out there? Because that's what, from what I understand, that's what's happening, right? This person is now deceased. The suspect, they left their DNA there, and you connected the two?
Yeah, so we still had some remaining DNA that was at the Center for Forensic Sciences still. So we sent that down to a laboratory in the United States who was able to develop a profile there, and the members of the Toronto Police Service were able to help us build linkages and connections to other open source databases that were able to narrow our focus to a person of interest in this particular investigation, which was Mr. Brousseau.
Now, the Brousseau, then, were they known to authorities at the time then that they had this information, like genetic information on them?
No. So at that stage, what becomes what that then triggers is our traditional investigative techniques, which utilize us obtaining a sample of Mr. Brousseau's DNA and then submitting that once again to the Centre of Forensic Sciences in order to establish whether or not there's a connection to the DNA found at the crime scene. And once that was sent away, we received notification that there was in fact a match and that the DNA found at the crime scene was that of Mr. Brousseau.
Right, and obviously, as we mentioned before, he passed away in 2017, so obviously no charges can be laid. And so what does this then mean for the victim's family, that they have at least a little bit of closure, they have the name of the person who took this woman's life?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's who we work for in these particular investigations are the families who have had their questions left unanswered for so long. And certainly we maintain an excellent rapport with them and a relationship with them. And we're grateful that this technology now exists, that we're able to provide them with some measure of closure and some answers to the questions that have no doubt been haunting them over the course of these 25 years.
And so with this new technology now, obviously it's 2024, so unfortunately, let's say somebody is found deceased, and there's really not that much evidence besides at the micro level in DNA. How do we don't have to wait 25 years anymore, right, to find a suspect of some kind if they do leave some DNA remnants at the crime scene?
That's correct. This is an investigative tool now that will hopefully be utilized in investigations going forward, and even retroactively to investigations more historical, as you say, cold cases. And so we're grateful that this technology now exists and certainly will be utilized moving forward as we consider absolutely every investigative step and technique that's available to us.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that, and of course, thank you very much for closing this cold case, and putting a bit of peace of mind to the victim's family. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.